don't like the. There we go.
Oh, I got it.
Just
Right here
mine.
too. We live?
Yep.
I did not get a notification yet. Yeah, I got a notification. I got a notification. All right, start the viewing party right away.
You're gonna set the viewing
No,
party?
you start the viewing party.
So I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna work the chat rooms.
Well, let me know when I'm ready to fire.
Nope. Kill the audio.
Achievement get. Good
Thank
job.
you. Tom's watching right now.
Hey. What was I gonna do here? First time doing it?
I never, I did it
First
once on
time
my phone and
sober
it
doing
worked
it.
so well, and then they're all like, "You should do that again." And it's like, oh, but I can't. Okay, what if I just hit the share button?
Just hit the share button.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do start a viewing party.
Yay!
Now, started.
Alright. You ready?
All right, don't do anything interesting now.
Well, Larry's.
Well, Larry, we never do anything interesting.
Oh,
Why should now
Why am I
be
speaking?
different than
All
any
right,
other
so-
time?
I almost did the same thing you did.
Well, then I don't feel quite as
All
bad.
right, we can party on Garth. And I'll see how far off I am.
One. And live from the 6th subfloor basement of the Guys, Games, and Beer Towers. It's the podcast with the mostest beer. Guys, Games, and Beer.
Yeah! Woo! Speaking of beer, Rob, I could use a beer right now.
Could you?
I
What
could
kind
use
of beer
beer right
could
now.
you use?
I think I could use.
Wait,
Wait, what?
you're not gonna.
We're gonna do the theme song?
Yeah.
Well, you missed the
Wow.
cue there.
Ba-dum-bum! Ba-dum-bum-bum! Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
I just spit all over my screen. Disgusting.
Oh, let's see.
All right, so tonight for our beer we have another one from our buddies over at Surly Brewing Company out of of Minnesota. Today we're going to try their Hell Lager, and I was just trying to find out. Here it is, Hell Lager. It's one of their year rounds. It's not one of their specialty beers. It uses sterling hops and a Pilsner and Carahel malt. Well, that explains why they call it Hell. It's only an ABV of 5. The yeast is a German lager yeast. Yeah, fine. IBU low. Well, that's weird. So normally in IBU you give a number, what the rating number is. It just says IBU low. Unused to that.
What does that mean?
Hell is German for light. So Hell Lager means a light lager. Okay.
I'll be dirty.
What? A pale gold lager with brandy malt aromas and flavors of floral hop aroma and a balanced finish. All right, let's give this a try and see if they really are. Sorry,
All right, so I expect a light lager.
Oh, shit.
Light American lager.
Got a choice.
It did to me too. I got it all over the mic.
Oh.
I think the beer wants you more than you want it right now.
That might be true. Well,
You know what I got?
Light American lager.
Swimming in hell.
No.
What are you getting?
No, I'm getting what I expected when I see things like Hell and Hellalicious, and I'm getting hops.
You're getting more hops. Than
Yeah,
you expected.
definitely.
Hops all
I'm
day long.
going to agree with you. Not only does it finish with hops, it starts with hops.
Yeah.
it's more bitter than
I
expected
agree.
to.
For a lager, yeah.
Much more bitter.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, right.
No, you
Yeah,
expect
it was
like
not.
clean lager, you know? A light lager to boot, but no, it's pretty.
No.
Now that's really interesting because it says IBU low, but I'm thinking it's not a low IBU.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with
give
that.
it 35 at least.
The basically how the bitter units are.
Yeah, it's very bitter.
It's
I ain't got bitter
it's a
beer
very bitter beer.
It's
Now I had some
International
sweets before
Bitter
we started
Unit.
this show, so I mean that makes the bitter. So I was eating some sweets, so that makes the bitter even.
Yeah. Lost the
It's-
palate off.
Okay,
of
I gotta
this
try.
guy.
I gotta see if somebody actually has the bitter rating on this because it's not a low IBU.
Lies and blasphemy.
With the name Hell, I think that both of those things fit just
I
fine.
called it at a 35.
They just want you to drink it and say, "What the hell?"
I thought this was a lager. What the hell? It's an IPA.
Well,
It's not even an
technically,
IPA, really.
lager means to. I mean,
Yeah.
to let it rest, right? Till the
Right,
age.
you cold rest it.
Cold rested.
you
So,
lager it.
so yeah, but I mean, that doesn't
I
necessarily.
agree with the hoppiness, but it's definitely got a bite to it.
No, it's got far too much hoppiness for what I would consider a
Lager.
lager.
Yeah. It's not a.
It looks like a Mountain Dew can.
It does.
I would actually give it. It's more.
Why
It's
am I
along the
missing
lines
the,
of Leinenkugel's
no,
Indian Pale Lager, their IPL. That's what this kind of reminds me
Which
of.
all information you don't want.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah, the
is
one,
a
the
good
one, the one
description.
thing I'm looking for here,
Yeah.
I see.
IPA is more of a
Yeah,
more an IPA than a lager.
It's
Yeah, honestly, it's more
it's
like
not necessarily bad. It's just not what I was expecting.
No, and again, it's interesting because
Well, it could
very
be
often
bad
you
if
get that
that's what you
hoppiness
were
on the
expecting.
backside. No,
Yeah.
this is hoppy all the way through. I mean, literally, from the moment you taste it, it's like, boy, there's a lot of hop in that, to the finish. It's pretty much hoppy all the way through.
This is a good already drunk.
Okay,
beer.
so yeah, now that.
This would be a good one if I was already
No,
pretty
I
lit.
couldn't
So,
drink this.
so yeah, some
You
of the
couldn't do it, huh?
No.
beer styles
Yeah.
on craftbeer.com, they do not call it a low IBU beer. Let's see. No, actually, no. They are calling it. Well, they say it's only 18 to 25. It tastes more
It's
like
way
I would say more like
higher.
a 35.
Yeah, it's way higher.
I would have no idea how that's.
No, that's
None.
it's really bitter for
I got
them.
nothing.
And again, it could just be this batch, but it's their year-round production, so I doubt that.
All right, you're at the party cooler.
All right.
Anybody grabbing this one?
Depends how drunk I already am.
I'm
No.
probably
That
not.
sounds like a
It's-
no.
It's a little too bitter for me. I mean,
stuff already makes me
and it's-
believe
If I was smashed, I mean, I'd be thumbs up in this all day long.
the problem is again that bitterness is right.
It is
it's-
very bitter.
It's so pronounced in this right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting punched in the face with bitterness.
Yeah, that's not what I expected or wanted.
Right, and that's the
Right.
problem. When you say it's a lager,
Right.
make sure it's a lager.
Yeah.
So, and you can call it a German-style lager, an American lager, whatever you want to call it. But if you say it's a lager, it should not be this bitter throughout.
I was expecting something more along the lines of a darker Sam Adams or something.
Yeah, Sam Adams is an American lager. Exactly it. Right. And
Not
you can even maybe have a touch of bitterness to it, but this is like all the way
Well,
through.
and different kind of bitter. Leinenkugel's original is kind of a bitter beer, but
Yeah,
it's
but-
not a hop bitter.
No, this is definitely a hop bitter. So,
Like coffee bitter versus hop bitter, right?
yeah.
This one time I put liquid skin on my finger, because I got a cut, and it hurt, so I licked it.
This
and
is
it tastes a
no,
lot
you're right. This is the
like
kind of bitterness.
liquid
You're right.
skin.
So it's blood?
No,
I don't think it's that
it's
bad.
liquid. It's liquid skin bitter.
I think it's
Liquid
liquid
skin.
skin.
Doesn't smell like tires, though. Remember the one that smelled like tires?
Yeah.
All right.
Accidental.
All right, so
All right, let's do
since
this.
Nobody grabbing it from the cooler. Nobody's ordering at a bar.
I'm not
Yeah,
ordering
probably
it
not.
now.
It's not gonna make that. I'm just giving it a sideways because definitely if I was lit, I grabbed it.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
If I didn't try it, I would have probably grabbed it because I would have saw a lager, but then I probably would have handed it off.
Yeah, I agree. This is something I would give to
You
somebody
like
else. to finish.
IPAs?
All right. All right, Judge Rob, pass verdict on this beer.
All right, on the charge of being more bitter than one of my ex-girlfriends. Guilty as hell, and I sentence you to drinking.
I see what you
I guess
did
I'm
there.
gonna end up drinking all of them.
Yeah, you're going to be drinking a lot of that tonight, Rob. And I want a 12-pack, Rob, so you're going to be drinking a lot of this one.
Yeah.
All
You know
right,
what? Probably like our Christmas, it's gonna be.
all right, so Rob, why are we really here this
Yeah.
evening? We've got...
Today we have got Scott with us.
Karasek.
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Very difficult most of the time anyway.
All right, so Scott is a special guest. If I'm not watching the cameras right now, so I probably should have been looking at the cameras. So Scott's actually in studio tonight to talk about.
I'm a video game world record holder.
Yeah,
Still.
which is no that is a very
That is
interesting
a thing.
point because it is a thing. I mean, with the interesting retro gaming, a lot of the old record holders have fallen to new record holders, but you're still holding on to your record.
37 years and counting.
Holy
Wait, so you did
1982.
what?
What was the game?
Did
What
you
was
do
the
it?
game,
Wait,
first of all?
Wait a minute,
Spell
wait a
it
minute,
out.
wait a minute. No, not yet.
Oh,
We're going to do
okay.
a reveal. We're going to kind of build. We were building up to it. It's the
Okay.
climax.
Which-
Okay.
All right, so I don't remember it being at Mission Control.
Gosh, 5 minutes.
At what?
At Mission Control Arcade.
It was considered a tier 1 game. Along lines of like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong because what they've told me anyway. Because the number of arcades that I was actually in. One of my former students came up to me and had a picture of the game, with my name on it because Galloping Ghost down in
Okay.
Illinois. And they have the world record holder, and then they have the top 3 of the people at that particular arcade. He's like, "Is this you?" Yeah. Where'd you find that game? So last year, actually on the anniversary, me and my neighbor Ted, we road tripped it, and we road tripped down to Galloping Ghost
No
and just got to
kidding.
go play.
Okay,
That's
so now that
awesome.
we've talked a little bit about how long he's held this record, which is amazing to hold a record that long in video gaming, let's tell people what the game is that you hold the world record for.
It was a game called Amidar, Amidar. It's like sort of a cross between Pac-Man and Donkey Kong.
Quicks and Quicks.
And quick, yeah.
Kicks. Q-I-X, Kicks.
That same type of pattern game of climbing ladders or outrunning ghosts, or in this case it was monkeys.
Right. So the game was actually very popular in the early 80s. I do remember the game quite clearly.
It was at the Shopco mini arcade, wasn't it?
It was there as
In the
well.
80s? 'Cause I
But
was
it was
trying to remember
also-
because I played the actual machine back in the day.
It was also at the Regency Malls
It was
arcade.
It was at that one too.
Yeah,
they
Oh,
had
that
some.
was at Bunny,
Yep,
where
yep,
I said it
they
was
had it
at
there
Bunny
too.
Games over on Douglas Avenue, which is now the Subway by Garbo and McDonald's, Arby's.
Okay,
I didn't know there was an arcade there. I
I
remember Go Bananas.
Okay, see, now that's interesting. I don't remember that. There
Yeah,
was
I-
an arcade there.
I was trying to
We're all-
figure out where you played it because I know Mission Control didn't have it as far as I could recall.
All right, so we're going hyper local, guys. So these,
Yeah.
he is still local to where he set the record, Racine, Wisconsin. So these were all arcades that were in Racine in the early '80s. So Racine actually had a fairly good arcade scene in the early
Yeah,
80s.
we had well, apparently we had one that I didn't go to. Which
They had one
is
actually
impressive.
at the Flatiron Mall,
Yeah.
where it was actually originally. That's
Oh, okay.
where
Okay.
Fun and Games started, and then they moved over into which would have been the old Pizza Hut at that time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow.
I
did
didn't
not
know there was
realize.
I didn't know
See,
there
I
was an
remember the
arcade there.
Flatiron Mall, but I don't remember them moving
So
over
they
to
would
there.
make it four in Racine right
Now,
now in 82?
There's Go Bananas.
So, interesting fact about
Hold
this
on,
game.
we're going through hyper local information.
I was going to try to break off the hyperlocal information.
Yeah, but we got to go through this because
Because everybody's interested in how Racine has developed over
yes,
the years.
there's Go Bananas.
So it's another little
We're gonna have
interesting
45
fact
minutes of this. here.
about this
Crack
particular
on.
game. So there were 2 ROM sets for this particular game.
Correct.
There is the Stearns ROM set. So Stearns, as you guys know, did a lot of video gaming in the early 80s. Actually, they still do some really good video games, but pinball has always been their main thing. And then Konami made a version of it as well.
That was the original version.
Right.
And it came over, this is stuff I found out afterwards, about...
You were just playing the game.
It was my game. A lot of my buddies were, big Donkey Kong fans or Asteroids or any of those, and I'd never got into them that much. But this particular game, I figured out pretty early. So it was mine where I could go in and put a quarter in and play. Not like now where you have your video game systems on your computers and on your phones and on your big screen TVs and everywhere else. And so a quarter had to last a while. So I learned how to play this game pretty well. But I played for about 8 hours straight on one quarter, and they made me stop.
You
Because they
gotta
had
go.
We're closing, man.
Yeah.
You need to
Oh,
go
that's
someplace
just wrong.
else.
So the
Like
guy,
Homer at a buffet. You gotta go.
that was about it. He goes, well, we'll give you $5 in tokens. And in 1982, that was
Holy.
Yeah.
that was like getting $50 today.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
here,
I'm
here's
out here.
$5. I gotta close. I'll give you $5 in tokens, and and submit it for a world record. So they did. And about a month and a half later, it came back that it was a world record. And so I had the world record. They had a big party, gave me lunch, gave me like $25 in tokens, and made a big deal out of it. Got a T-shirt, and then after that, I was like, okay, I'm 16 years old, no big deal anymore. Well, then about a year later, I hear a kid down in Kenosha beat me. And then he got like 33 million. I had 3.2 million. I'm going, man, they must have stayed open all night for this guy or something. So,
I had 8 hours in.
yeah, and so I thought, okay, world record gone. Well, fast forward 30 plus years, all of a sudden there was something on Facebook that said, check your instant messenger because there might be messages from people that aren't your friends that are trying to get a hold of you. So this I think 4 years ago, and you can actually go in there. There's a setting that sort of blocks people that aren't your friends. So
Right.
I went and there was a message there from a lady out of New York that was from like 2 years earlier, and it said, "Are you the Scott Karasek that set this world record back in 1982?" And I just typed in yes, enter, just seeing if anything would happen. But 45 minutes later, my instant messenger just blew up. It's like, holy crap, we've been trying to find you. And I go, why? And she goes, you have the world record. I go, no, I don't. There was a guy in Kenosha that beat me. Well, we ended up messaging back and forth, and that's how I found out that there was the two versions.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Stearns and there was the
And
Kenosha.
the Stearns turns out to be much more
More difficult. Yeah, and she was explaining how. Well, actually, that was later on. His last name is Scott. I can't think of his first name now. He's a big gamer down in Texas. She hooked me up with him, and he called me and interviewed me on a Saturday morning for about 2 hours, and then did a big blog on it. This was like 3-4 years ago. But they were going through telling me, they came through, and the object of an arcade is to plunk as many quarters in the machines to make money. So after they found out that was set too easy, that's when Stearns made the harder version.
Be darned.
And
How do they know that after all those years?
somehow
They actually kept track of that?
it's how it's submitted as a world record back then. Well, they were trying to recreate all the world record books. Excuse me. I don't know which one's making me burp, the surly or the ham.
I'm
I'd
gonna
say
go
it's
with the
the
Surly. I'm gonna go with the Surly too. That was really better, man.
But it was pretty cool. They were like, you're still a world record holder, and I was like, pretty cool. So I told my class. I told my class,
do
I was
rock.
psyched. I was like, that was like the best Tuesday ever. And even my class was impressed. Well, then I come home and I tell my son, who at the time was probably about 18, 19 years old, and my son was even impressed that his dad is still a world record. He's like, what?
That's a funny. That's a real.
Because that's like a weird age.
It's a real twisted story. Because you let it go for so many years, and it's like, and then it just sort of comes back and like, hey.
Well, now, even more interesting about that is the fact that both record holders are here in between Racine and Kenosha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That was the other
Well,
thing.
and what would your record have been if they told you not to go home?
All right.
You start off with, I think, 3 guys. I think I had like 8 or 9 guys left still.
Wow.
And well, then I told the people down in Patrick Scott, I think is the guy's name. Patrick Scott. Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Told him that, and I told the lady out in New York the same thing. I said, yeah, I probably could have gotten a little higher, but they made me go home. I'd have quit. And they're like, what?
Well, now this is pre that kind of record holding days. I mean, yeah, they had competitions for some of the more mainstream games, and Amidar was like you said, was a well distributed game, but wasn't one of the star attraction games. I mean,
There was a 2600 version, so.
there was more than a 2600 version. There was like an everything version because it was a fairly popular arcade game, but it wasn't one that they normally did the competitions for.
You didn't see it on Starcade?
No, I didn't see it
I
on
bet
Starcade.
it was on Starcade.
They actually did when it was at Flatiron Mall.
Yeah.
They actually had each like Tuesday night or something. It was. They'd always have a competition of one of the games there.
Yeah.
They'd have Donkey Kong, and then they'd have Pac-Man, they'd have Centipede, whatever. And every once in a while, they would pick a random game too, that hardly anybody played to get somebody else that. Well, the one week my buddy says, "Well, hey, your game's up." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So I go, "I gotta win this one." So I had to go last. Well, they made me go last because I had the highest score up there.
Right.
And at that time, I think my highest score was about maybe 80 or 90,000. And so the guy went just before me. He ended up scoring like 130, 140,000, which was above what I'd ever scored before. But I was smart enough to pay attention to what he was doing. And I'm a patterns guy. I could pick up patterns out of everything. And I figured out a couple of things that he was doing. And I'm like, huh. And I ended up getting up there and did like 400,000.
Holy crap. Yeah, considering before that you're talking 80 or 90, that's a big jump in score. So, but now that's interesting you talked about that. So, in case you didn't hear him before, he said his students. So, and now he said he's a patterns guy. So, guys, guess what he teaches?
I'm a high school math teacher.
Oh, I thought you were cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought you were a monkey
So you
trainer.
see, when you have an eye for patterns in video gaming,
Huh.
mathematics comes
By
naturally.
the way, Starcade episode number 165 had it on.
Okay, did have it in it. All right.
I had to look that up. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
So no, it's no. We go to a lot of these gaming events and so on and so forth, and it's interesting to see a lot of the classics. In fact, we have a friend who works on setting world records. That's he does it. He's doing it for the NES games.
he currently does.
He's holding Cool Spot right
also
now.
a Scott.
Yeah, he is.
So.
Also a Scott. Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He
so
said it. He said it. Not your
mathematically,
Gaming Lounge.
mathematically, what are the chances of them all being Scots?
Wait a minute. You
Is
think
this a
all
game that gives
the
you an edge in gaming?
What is the percentage of your name being Scott?
Well,
World
there's that
record
Billy.
in gaming?
Yeah.
Right. So again, kind of interesting to come back around to it. It kind of fits into what you're doing nowadays as a career.
Yeah.
So I mean, earlier video games, not so much now with the RPGs and things like that, and first-person shooters and so on. Games back then, games back then were pattern-based.
Yeah.
Almost all of them were pattern-based. I mean, if you think about Pac-Man, Galaxian, Amidar, all these games.
I don't mean to cut you off, but don't fool yourself on the whole, like, nowadays isn't as much patterns. 'Cause you play, like,
Wow.
some of these FPS and stuff like that, people begin to play the same style. You have to notice how they're interacting.
So
with the
you're
game and
saying
stuff
that
like
people become
People
better.
have
People
patterns.
become-
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yes,
actually,
but that's how it's becoming, though. There's still ways of doing it mathematically and figuring it out in other ways.
But
It's just
there are still ways. I got my
like your
son
kill
a little bit into it.
percentages, stuff like that. Like
We had the PlayStation 1, and we had 2 and 3 and 4 and Xbox and all those things too. And I played mainly PlayStation was mine. And so I always we played Ratchet and Clank and
Awesome.
what's the other one? The with the Ooga Booga.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, thank you. But both of those, especially Ratchet and Clank, are all patterns because you can go through and you get to a point. And even when I started playing like Medal of Honor with them, if you're not playing online and you're just actually playing the game,
Oh yeah, they all have.
there's all the
They all
patterns
have
to
AI.
where the shooters are, where
How
the
they're
sniper's
walking,
at,
their distance, yeah.
all of that. So you
Yeah.
can still see the pattern to it and still beat it. There's been many games that I've taken all the way to the end and they run the credits. My probably the latest one I've done was I'm just drawing a blank tonight.
Having the beer. It helps.
Yeah, I
trust
know.
me.
It's probably gonna.
Trust me.
And it's always that
It
one
helps
thing.
loosen us right the heck up.
Your memory.
Uncharted.
Okay.
Uncharted
Oh, yeah.
2 and 3. I haven't done 4 yet. But that's along that same line. But I loved it because it was a combination of the shooting game and archaeology and
Good
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah, good
that-
storyline.
that
Yeah.
really good
Was
graphics.
Indiana Jones
Yeah.
the way you want him to be?
Yeah. Thank you. Exactly.
Shooting everybody
The
like
Bell
all the time.
It's great when you can put it like that. The male Laura Croft.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's get back to old style gaming. So
That is
you
pretty
said
true.
this back in '82 when you were 16. Other games that you played at that time. I mean, was there anything that from you, or have you gone back to playing any of those games? I mean, nowadays retro gaming is big and it's hot. I mean, we do, like I said, we do a lot of these conventions, and it's all about the retro gaming. How about you? Are you, are you
If
into retro
if
gaming?
I see certain games in the arcade or like in the bar or like Pepe's has.
Oh, Pepe's got a great selection.
And actually, Amidar is on one of the screens of one of those games down there. I found out from my one buddy because he's down there with his daughter. They're playing, and all he says to me is he texts me pixels.
Okay.
No, I didn't have.
Painful
I did not have
reference.
a mullet.
Okay, good. Painful reference, but that's okay.
Yeah, that wasn't that good of a movie. But anyway, yeah, when I get a chance, I'd like to try to play like the old racing games and stuff like that. And when we went down
Pole
to
position.
pole position was mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Love
pretty
pole
good
position.
at. I was pretty good at Donkey Kong, and Galaga, and a couple of the other like some of the playing games and stuff like that.
Right.
Ooh, excuse me. But like when we went down to Galloping Ghost, we road tripped it on the anniversary last year
Yes,
because that was
great.
the first time I found out it was there, and I walked in And I hadn't been into that type of arcade. And that place was huge.
It's a little daunting.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
a little
like,
daunting.
oh my god! So I walk up to the front, and I asked where it was, and my buddy that was with me, Ted, he goes, because he's a world record holder, and the guy behind the counter goes, "You're Scott?" And I go, "What?" They must have something that pops up each day that
They know those guys who work there know their crap. You can ask them about any machine there, and they will tell you the history of the machine, who's holding the record. Again, again, they're part of the Twin Galaxies network, and they know when it comes to these games, man. They know everything.
They treated me like a king when I was.
Now you were a king for them.
Like, here, play it.
Just
play.
just out of curiosity, so you had the record, you knew that, but then you also knew someone else took it over, and then you let go of that idea. How do you think maybe things might have turned out differently for you in any way if that record had stood at the time when you were 16, 17? Do you think you'd made any inner choices differently, or?
No.
He's asking, would you become Billy Mitchell?
I wasn't gonna say it.
I just read.
But I was trying to
I just read an article titled
what?
"The Most Infamous Cheater of All Time." And guess what was on the front photo?
You know what, Billy? If you watch like Chasing Ghosts and you watch those two documentaries, Billy Mitchell was not the saddest one in that.
Oh,
in
no.
that,
No,
in
there are
that
far more
video.
pathetic
I mean,
people.
the one guy in the trailer that was really just trying. He was like playing our like 2600 games too, like, and I was just like, wait, I mean, yeah, this was cool and it was really neat, but become a math teacher. Do something else,
I actually was more into chemistry at the time.
Yeah.
I was into math, obviously, but
Yeah, chemistry is a lot of fun.
That was
my
the
God,
easy
it's a lot
part
of
of what
fun.
I was into.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
math for me has always been a joke. It's
I
just
wish.
from second grade on. I was always a numbers guy. But I was really into chemistry for a while. I was in Explorer Scouts. There was a chemistry thing too, and I originally went to college for chemistry until I had something blow up in my face. And I'm like, yeah, no. And then I switched over. And I ended up I got a degree in mathematics, computer science, and anthropology, of all things.
Yeah, the last one seemed
That's an interesting story in itself.
Well, we got time.
The one thing that'll get you to understand how I got into that is you had to take something in history.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking a class. It was called Magic, Religion, and Witchcraft. Coolest freaking class ever.
So anthropology is your third major.
So then it was off to the races after that. It was Russian history and all that other stuff. And then my advisor was like, "Oh, you have all these classes. Take this." And
You might as well be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Thank you. That certainly sounds like what he was working on there. Yeah. So no, and Larry's right. It's interesting, and to some. Yeah, while you're up, Larry. No, not for me. I'm good. But I should probably drink that. Oh, yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks. But no, it's it's interesting. To some extent, I think it's better that the record just kind of stood without you having to tend it.
But there are people that are still. That was one of the questions that Patrick asked me. Is like, would you mind if somebody beat you now? 37 years later, 35 years later, however many years it was. I go. And I really wouldn't if it's somebody that was actually in an arcade putting quarters in, not going in and being able to reset because they screwed up something early, and then reset because they screwed up something early, that type of thing, or sitting in my
And they were told to go home after 8 hours.
Yeah, at 8 hours, you gotta go home now.
It's actually funny because I actually had a chance to meet Scott when we were over at Horlick High School where he teaches, and had a chance to talk to him about a little bit about this at one point. And that's one of the things that we talked about is the emulation aspect versus the traditional arcade aspect. And if it was an emulator aspect, it's not.
Emulators don't count. Twin
Alright,
Galaxies
yeah.
does not count emulators. You can't play it on an emulator.
Good.
You have to play it on the original hardware.
Good.
And that does make sense because I'm sorry, arcade joysticks are beat to crap.
Yep.
They may not respond as well as that beautiful little controller you just purchased will respond. the hardware, the timing is different, especially on the original hardware. And then again, Twin Galaxies is really, that's why there was that big stink recently about Billy Mitchell, because somebody thought he had run it on an emulated version, and that doesn't count. In fact, we had our Scott set a second record using, unfortunately, a wrong system. When we were,
Oh yeah.
It was on a Retron.
Yeah.
right.
And it should have been on an original.
It should have been on an original. So
Yeah, 'cause
he set the Cool Spot record, and I forget what speed run he was doing, but he was doing a speed run when we were at Game Hall, and he was
He's
using
doing Felix the Cat.
thank you, and he was using the original cartridge, but he had plugged it into a
No,
Retron.
Spot is still standing.
Yeah, Spot is still standing.
Spot is confirmed standing.
Correct. But we submitted the video and said, Twin Galaxy said, nope, that don't count. You have to have it on the original hardware when you do it. And I like that. And you're right. Somebody's got to be plugging quarters. Somebody can't be resetting the machine. So, and I don't even care about the plug and quarters part, but I do want that on the original hardware, and I want that with the original kind of play field and everything else. No, okay.
ROM-sets make a difference. I mean, because at different points,
that's the reason.
the manufacturer made different decisions and put out different machines.
Right.
And that's what happened in this situation.
But at least they recognize both of them.
Which I thought was a
Like-
great thing too. Each one in its own way.
Like, for example, Galaga has the fast shooter set.
Galaga's got like about 1 billion
Yeah,
versions.
well, the
out
fast
there.
shooter set's probably the big difference. Where you
Yeah.
just
Yeah, you hold the button and it's rapid fire. Yeah.
and and if you score really high in that, it's like wow.
Yeah, good. Yeah, who doesn't score really high in that? So, hey, Mike, how's it going tonight? So, we've got No, it's like I said, it's good to see with the retro world right now, and this is I like to tell people we're kind of in the golden age of retro gaming, and not just in the way that scores are being kept and preserved, and there's all sorts of documentaries and.
But it's probably gonna crash soon.
Yeah, it really will.
You know what?
No, it's going to.
Do you have like a feeling why it's like kind of in that golden age? Like I think I have
Yes,
a hunch as to why.
Because people like me and him can afford to buy expensive systems.
But I just but there's an age difference between you and I also love retro systems just as much. I mean,
But there's
what
also
I'm
a
getting-
difference.
but
Like,
what I'm getting at is it's kind of like everything obviously has its own like page. It turns after a while, and I
Right.
think it's at that point where the page is about to turn and everything's getting deeper and
But
deeper back.
you're not the usual person as far as that.
No,
goes.
but I know
You
there's
have a
people,
much bigger love for
there's,
retro
there-
than most
there's
people
kids
I
that are
know.
younger than I am that I've seen that still have a lot of love for retro gaming, and it's because of their parents.
Here's what I would say the golden age of retro is what Tom is talking about. And if you look at like Facebook Marketplace, you kind of get the sense of
No,
it.
I just,
There's us buying stand-ups to put in our basements.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for right
You
now.
know, a dedicated stand-up that we played when we were 16, 17.
Right.
That
You
makes
know,
sense.
We're bringing back the George Costanza.
and we have the money that
They're even making horrible renditions of cabinets now.
Yeah, we won't talk
you
about
touch
those.
it and they fall apart.
Yeah.
That being said,
Player
It's
What?
still better than anything we had
I'm
for the
still
home
looking
arcades
forward
when I
to
was a
the
kid.
Star Wars one-up, okay? I'm still looking forward to that.
Don't ruin this.
So the one up, we've seen the one up.
I might buy it.
Those are the little 3/4 size ones. The first build quality of those. Was
If I'm
really
going to
crappy.
get one, I'm getting full size.
Thank you, exactly, and I'm with you on that. Larry
They're
understands
actually
that, so
looking
does
for it.
Rob, as they both have
For
machines sitting in their houses.
I
I do not currently have a full-size
I
arcade
missed out on
You
that
do
for the
not.
most part.
You got rid of that's right. You got rid of that one.
I got rid of the one.
Well, I
I
mean,
really gotta
it was an Arkanoid and it was a tabletop anyway, so does it even...
No, he
There's
has
a
full
bar
size
top,
too.
which is totally classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, bar tops don't count
Yeah.
either.
Bar
No.
tops do too count.
They do not.
They do too, because they go on a bar.
I remember going to the Pizza Hut actually, and at the Pizza Hut they had the table one.
Oh God, yeah.
You're leaning over the
They
top
had
like this.
Simon too. I remember that because I always used to
Okay, so
Simon and
again,
get a free
going
pizza.
back down to you remember the living room on Lathrop Avenue?
Yes.
They-
No
they-
breadsticks.
I drank there many
Oh,
times.
me too. They had the best tabletop machine there. And I just remember going in there. You get your beers, you set your beers down there, and just play all those games all night.
Which
I find that really hard
It
to
used
play.
to be called the living room.
The living room.
It's
So,
around,
Yeah, it was just a
later.
house that someone turned into a bar.
It literally was a house that somebody
Yeah,
turned into a
you went in
bar.
the back door of this house.
Yeah, it was.
Later
Oh, the
on-
place was awesome.
Later on,
It really was a
Winner.
great bar.
Yeah.
Later on, I think it was called Mr. Livingston.
Yes,
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But it really was a great bar. It had a very English pub feel, and I loved that.
why it became Mr. Livington.
I know. It was
I
better.
really
Yeah,
got to
what
ruin
street
you guys'
was that on?
night here. On my 18th birthday, I was the last group of 18-year-olds that were legal before they switched it to 19.
We were so jealous of you guys. I was like 2 years out.
Oh, I was
I
I
so
made it.
jealous.
I'm older than you
Yeah.
are, so.
So on that day, me and my buddy, who was already 18 at the time, checked herself out. We went into what's now the ice box over there on.
Oh yeah,
Davidson.
yeah.
And we were grabbing some frosty mugs of Strolls.
Okay,
Class.
that's dating us a little
That's
bit.
classic
dude.
stuff.
You're just
And then-
dating us a bit.
It's a
there.
beer refreshing. No.
That's ham.
It's-
Stroke.
yeah,
I can't remember
Stroke's
that. I
was-
can't remember their logo.
Oh,
their,
crap.
Their thing. Okay, but continue.
But anyway, the video game of the day in that particular bar was, you guessed it, Tron.
Oh,
Yes!
nice.
So we were playing
That was a
Tron
great
for.
game.
And those
Yeah,
machines are
dude.
worth $1 billion right now. No, they are. Yeah,
The Tron machines are going for a lot.
They are.
And the original 3/4 machines are going, because we went to the auction,
Yeah.
and they had some 3/4 machines, but they were original 3/4
Right,
machines.
so they're that's 3/4 machines. The one that player, not player one, One Up is making. The idea of a 3/4 high machine is not anything new. They used to put those in bars when we were young.
Yeah, it was just
very
a space
often
issue.
bars
You had a
didn't
smaller bar
Bars
or-
didn't have a lot of space, so
Yeah.
they made small versions of Pac-Man and small versions of Tron and of
Yeah.
the most popular games of the time, and they put
Yeah.
these in there. Generally, they didn't have all the artwork. And they didn't look as nice. They were usually like wood
just
grain
straight wood grain
cabinets.
just-
Right,
it-
but they'd have a smaller monitor. But it would be the original board set.
It would be board set and controller.
Correct.
Would be correct.
Right, a little shorter, but yes, but yeah.
The Tron one.
The Tron one actually still had the gun controller.
Yeah, it was the
light up.
The light up controller. What did that go for? 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
That was
the
a-
crappy little version of it.
That was a
Little
controller and a
version
spinner.
of Tron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
good
the
job.
stuff on
Spinner.
it.
Good
It
job.
did have the spinner.
Hey, Vidja. Vidja Gamer.
Yes. So
Yeah, YouTube station, which is awesome. Check it out.
yes,
He does good hauls.
if you have not checked out, he has a couple of YouTube things he does. He also does week-owned rental.
That's a podcast.
Yeah, but he does that as well.
I think it does.
Which you should check out as well.
Yes.
So, but definitely check out all of his stuff.
Denise
Yes.
says
Yeah.
hi to you.
Denise. Denise.
Yeah.
Denise.
Denise.
Yeah, so, that's Stroh's. God, that was
Stroh's, I forgot all
Thank
about
you, wow.
know-
Again, thank you for making me feel even older than I already am.
My hot tub. Remember my hot tub on Ives Grove Road? Yeah, like somebody's just stalked me out to my old house.
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Remember, because I had a
Super
Stroh's,
hyper local.
a Stroh's patch.
Yes.
That patched a hole on the cover of my hot tub.
I do remember
Just
that,
crazy.
actually.
That's
God,
crazy.
yes.
Oh, that was good stuff.
All right, so,
Classy.
you brought up a good question, and we've talked about where people have gone with this. You said, no, if nobody beats you, you're good with that. So, it's interesting to see if somebody will actually go for that one. People have gone for the records now.
The closest I've heard was somebody got to 2.2 million or 2.3 million maybe.
Yeah.
And then they ran out of guys.
Right. So, because of the retro game scene, a lot of people are going back and revisiting the old records. I mean, hell, again, even some of the people are going back and revisiting their own old records and trying just basically to, pad their.
Well, good props. Billy Mitchell did one the other day.
Yes.
He went back and did he have a perfect game?
He
in
got a
Pac-Man?
perfect game.
Another perfect game in Pac-Man.
I don't think anybody ever. Well, nobody that had been around for a while actually questioned whether he was a good video.
Right.
game.
We know
Yeah.
he's a good video game player.
Just
I
yeah,
don't
it
think there's
sucks when nowadays
question.
leaderboards moved on to the online gameplay, and there's not really single player like high score stuff anymore too often.
Not real often.
Well, that's with the councils and you're not your generation is not quarters, right? You're not trying to do that. You've already purchased the game, right?
Yeah.
So the change became speed. Can
Yeah.
you complete this in speed?
Faster, yep.
And that's where you
Speed
get speed
runs.
runs.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
screw up and you just saw reset.
you're
You
done.
had 5 guys left. I'm done.
Which is actually
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, there's such a theory in that. I mean, there's
In
so
speed
much.
runs?
It is.
Oh yeah, like glitching through walls.
Yeah,
and-
Mario.
Yeah,
Glitching,
Mario.
yeah.
I mean, that is actually really cool.
I watched
That
somebody do
is-
it multiple times at the lounge already with the glitching in the walls and stuff. It's really weird.
it is pretty cool to watch, though, isn't it?
he's like above the map at one point, then he's like under the map, and he's like jumping through this wall, and I'm like, what is going on? That's not how you play Mario. He's like, but I'm winning.
I mean, when I was a kid, I only got like one game every month or so, and I didn't play it that hard.
So if it was NASCAR, I would say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That was our
Speaking
game
of,
of choice up north was NASCAR because we'd go to the bar, all day after being at the lake, and whoever got the highest score had to drive home.
Right, you're sober.
You're still sober enough to drive.
You're driving. They had the side by side with the one bar we were at.
Hey, I'm gonna give a big shout out. We have got a new viewer tonight, the Global Sim Racing Channel, who I'm unfamiliar with. We're gonna have to look.
They're part of.
Are they part
they're
of the?
involved with the guys over at Lionheart.
Okay, so they are part of the Lionheart.
Yeah, in fact, Lionheart's part of them, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. We will have to definitely check them out.
We'll plug in.
We'll give them a few plugs.
Plug
and
in
so on
before
and
the
so
end.
forth. Yes.
So Vigigator just said that. Oh, what? Surely that great brewery. Maybe.
Yeah.
Go back and watch.
You missed the beer court on this.
Oh,
one.
yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah. Didn't go well. Just saying. And Larry reminded me. I honestly thought they had done better in our beer courts, and Larry has told me maybe not so much. I'm gonna have to go back myself and review some.
You know, if Benji gets real lucky, there's probably going to be some still left over.
We'll see him again. We'll have to show for the rest of the beer. Oh man.
I'm not putting it on that raffle.
If you're in the show today, you get a ticket.
If it makes it past Brown Liquor Christmas. Boy, this stuff did hit me. If it makes it past Brown
It's
Liquor
only
Christmas,
5.
it'll make it.
It's
It's kind of a shame, maybe the esports is the new version of this. I mean, it's a little bit of a that was kind of neat with the what Twin Galaxy had done at the time and had run with it, and they had the television program where people submitted, and that was kind of neat pop culture, right? Where we all could share that, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe the esports is the way to go. Maybe that's the new version of this.
I could see it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that. I'm not 100% sure.
I
It's the way of
think
driving
this point
competition.
that says, that there really isn't that game anymore where you're trying to get the highest score. It's how long, it's how your team does,
Yep.
or how well you rank against everybody else
How
as
good
far
you can
as.
strategize.
Yeah. Yeah, so, no, and it's just, but you're right, it's not affixed to a single game. It's
Right.
more over
It's a group game now.
group gaming, right. And then,
Well, that's true. I mean, the other day they had I forget which channel it was. It was Overwatch tournament.
yeah.
Was on, and
That's
and
6v6.
yeah. So when that's a team play, and
Yeah. Yeah, well,
But then you're strategizing as a group. Everybody's got their headsets on. You're saying, here you go, here
And
you
then
go there.
it
I'm the
switches-
best
it switches
healer,
based
man.
based
Or you're
on-
just yelling.
One time.
What are you guys doing?
I'm healing you!
That's
what I do!
You're healing Bill!
You really have to strategize because you might not
You're
be good
healing
at
the other
what
team!
Right. But if your team is
That's
overall.
yeah, you guys can still win.
No, well, I just thought of that too. About 20 years ago now, we used to play paintball all the time, and there was all the healing and everything else. This is the new version of paintball in a chair without getting hurt.
Right?
Yeah, with no
They
bruising.
sissified paintball.
I think I still have some head injuries from paintball.
Well, maybe there'll be some attachments that'll be on your computer, and when if you get hit,
The interactor. Remember, Larry?
The interactor.
Plug it in
Yeah,
your feet and you
yeah.
get electroshock from your computer.
Oh, no,
well, that's the interactor.
we actually have this. They made this gaming vest back in the 80s called the Interactor, which was a sub-fucking woofer you wore on your chest. So when you'd get punched, the subwoofer would promptly hit you in the chest.
I never saw that one.
Who thought this was a good gaming accessory?
Well,
Wait a minute.
Years later, it turned out great for
Yeah.
roller coaster rides.
I-
and
Yes,
beyond.
it did.
I personally would like to see you guys come up with a suit from head to toe of gaming gear that just doesn't make sense, but it was just made. It was like gaming gloves.
We can do that. We can do that.
Helmets.
We could probably have
Again,
that done in an
problem.
hour.
We could probably just use crap laying
left and right power glove?
No.
No, there was.
No, right-handed only.
No, Tom made that one.
Yeah, that was a whole other
But
issue. That's only because I was a
that
lefty.
was
That's
yes.
only because I'm a lefty.
And that one vibrated.
Yeah.
That was not good stuff.
Okay,
It was
so
not good stuff.
math teacher. I hear you're also a bit of a craftsman as well.
Yeah. In the summertime, instead of getting fatter than I already am, I work for Habitat 3 days a week building houses.
Oh, nice.
And then I also have about a 600 square foot woodworking room.
Dang.
Nice.
So besides the very large man cave you were talking about earlier, you also have a very nice shop by the sounds of it.
Do you build tiny tables you can flip when you get mad in video games?
All right, I'm going to ask, because you are a woodworker, do you have a laser cutter yet?
No, that's one of my next things. I just bought a CNC machine.
Oh, nice. Which one did you get?
I got the X car.
You got the X car.
I got the 1,000 by 1,000.
You're going to love your X car, dude.
I'm having a blast. We're doing 2-part epoxy inlays now.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, so, okay, we're gonna go a little geeky on maker stuff here. So give us a second. You know, I can. So and here's the thing. So the CNC is really nice. Actually, I kind of prefer the CNC
Music
woodworking.
Factory?
Besides the problem being just a touch slow. Whereas, boy, when you get that laser, you can just turn things out. Larry, is your dice box still here?
No.
Too bad.
Oh, actually, I want to build one of those for my brother-in-law. He's a big.
Well, you can look at one of those tables. I mean, that's laser.
Yeah, so
There you
so
go.
this you can tell they did laser cutting on these. You know, the nice thing about laser cutting is for repetition work and for speed, the laser just zips right through that stuff. I mean, it really does. And I've got a 40 and I got a 80 watter, and boy, I'll tell you, they're just great.
I've only had my CNC for 6 months, so I'm still paying that off.
Yeah, that X car, when you get that 1,000 by 1,000, man, you're paying for that, baby. That was not cheap.
$2 grand.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
we've built out about $600 already.
Oh, you do, oh, so you're actually using it to make a little cash?
Yeah.
It's paying for itself.
It's beer and gambling money.
That's all right. That's
I'm sorry, I'm contractually obligated to
To-
mention that this is the Outburst gaming table. You can get 2 of them for $5 on Kickstarter right now. Just
Yeah.
look at the lead.
Yeah,
Link.
well, if you watch the show where we talked about this, we have links to their Kickstarter on it, so make sure to check out.
I'm sorry, they own my left arm right now.
They do check out the show we did about their product. In all honesty, so we
I
talked
do
about
odd
this.
things with it. I'm like the neighborhood handyman. I just keep busy in the summertime, and
The only podcast where half the crew walks off the beat.
Yeah, I know.
That's fine.
It's because they're all drinking beer. So no, the X car is great. Like I said, I paid about $5 grand for my 80 watt, which was not bad at all, actually. I know that sounds like a lot.
I know.
That sounds like a lot.
so I
But
was-
think about it. Back in
For
the day,
80 watts?
Back in the
I would
day,
expect 90.
There is no way you could afford this stuff.
Well, yeah, right now to get like a 15 watt is like $900.
Yeah. So I got one of the Chinese ones.
But yeah, the 15 watts won't burn through anything more than about a quarter. inch.
No, my 80 watt, man, I can cut right
Oh.
through everything. No, the only thing about these lasers is they're good for woodworking, plastics, soft materials. Glasses, yeah. Speaking of which, wait till you see, all you Mad with Power guys, wait till you see I think, Ty already posted a picture of them. So there are some great giveaways. I do glasses. I do a lot of glasses for giveaways for G2B and for,
You do awesome giveaways in general.
but
When I first got it, we were just screwing around. That's where my one computer guy comes in. He
Yeah.
used to be a graphic artist.
Oh.
So he designs all my stuff, and then I give him a little taste of the.
good. Yeah, I'm going to ask, are you on Thingiverse?
No, we're not. It's all
No.
local.
Thingiverse is a place where you can get free patterns.
Oh no, I'll have to check that out.
I'll send you some links for some places where you can pick up all sorts of cool free patterns for your X-Carve and for other things
Yeah,
too.
I'm getting. I think it's Fusion 360.
Yeah.
Is my next.
Nice.
And there's a free version that I can get to start because we're not billing that much yet
Yeah.
to try it out. And the other nice thing about being a teacher, I can send them my ID, and a lot of times
They'll give you the educational discount.
They'll give me an educational
Hey.
discount, or they'll give me 6 months for free to try it out, or
Discounted free trials are freaking brilliant.
Because if it doesn't work,
Cool stuff.
No
Very
money
cool
out.
stuff. So, again, besides math teacher, maker, so video games don't have to consume your life,
Right.
and world record holder for Amidar. So, kind of cool all the way around on that. All right, Rob, I think we should probably wrap this mess up.
All right, here we go. This episode is as always. God,
How can I
Such a
interrupt?
high quality show. This is a high quality show.
Yeah, you like this will all be edited
Yeah,
out.
That's so funny.
That's all right.
Yeah, funeral. Anyway, as always, we're brought to you by Lionheart Racing. You can check them out if you go to www.guysgamesandbeer.net and click on the top right-hand side of the screen. You can watch some races without the really nasty popcorn and hot dogs. Make your own. Make your own. Just do that, then watch the game. Also, we got Not Your Parents' Basement here.
Speaking
In
of
the
Not Your
house.
Parents' Basement, what is happening very soon at Not Your Parents' Basement?
On July 20th, we'll be hosting our 2-year anniversary, so come on out. We'll be having an all-nighter. We'll be serving some food and having a great time. And Brian Koenig of Lords of the Trident will be coming out and playing some sweet tunes for you.
So,
Official metal band of the show.
yes. So, literally in a week and a half in Racine, Wisconsin. So, if you're in southeastern Wisconsin, you need to stop in downtown Racine.
410 Main Street.
410 Main Street. Not Your Parents' Basement is having their 2-year anniversary, and not just a simple 2-year anniversary. They got all sorts of special events going on.
Way better than any other like cafe style thing has ever lasted.
Exactly.
in Racine.
So,
congrats.
That's true.
yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is freaking awesome. So, not only do they have all sorts of cool stuff going on, but for those of you who have not seen Brian from Lords of the Trident do his video game music, holy shit.
Yeah, it's good.
You cannot believe how good this guy is.
I didn't ask the man to come out because he didn't know how to play. I promise you that.
No, this guy's amazing. So not only do you get to check out this cool gaming lounge, but you get to check out a guy who really plays some cool video game music. So definitely, if you're going to be in the southeastern Wisconsin areas, particularly Racine, Wisconsin, you'll want to stop down at 410 Main Street in Racine, Wisconsin at Not Your Parents' Basement. Say hi to Joe. And you don't have to say hi to him. Just walk past him. Pretend like
Give
you
him a
don't-
hug.
I'll say
No,
hi
give
to
him
you if
Pretend like you don't know him.
give him a big warm hug. Do that. He
Yeah,
likes
just
that.
randomly come up and hug him. Make him feel
He's already
uncomfortable.
twitching. He's already twitching about it. I can tell.
But definitely check that out. Rob, what else we got
And
going on?
speaking of Lords of the Trident,
Ah.
if you're a Patreon member, you could enjoy for at least the next few weeks beer reviews with me and Fang, the lead singer of Lords of the Trident.
So Larry taking his beer court expertise and helping out Fang do Fang's beer reviews.
Yes, and so there's that. And if you want to see us in person up in the Madison
Well, some
area,
of us.
some of us up in the
Thanks for making me feel bad.
Yeah, we will be at Mad with Power. There'll be some amazing metal going on. There'll be stand-up machines to play. There'll also be a booth by us. So Mad with Power.
Mad with Power is a heavy metal concert and arcade game. Event. So basically, it's a bunch of stand-up arcade games, consoles, amazing metal bands, unbelievable metal bands from all over the United States and Canada now.
When's that?
That is the
August?
10th.
10th.
If you're not doing anything, you should talk to these gentlemen.
It'll be
No,
worthwhile.
it would be worth.
It's a good show.
It's an amazing
It's a
show.
good show.
And we will be live there. But if you haven't checked it out, just do a search for it. Mad with Power, Madison, Wisconsin, and you can find all the information about it. Otherwise, check out our page. We'll have links to it. Definitely check them out. It's an amazing show.
I think it's like $20 to get in. All right. I mean,
Missed
it's
this year.
ridiculous.
And I cannot tell you how unhappy I am that I'm going to miss it this year.
This one?
Yes, that one there. So
Okay, so one more thing. Yeah,
two more things.
A couple more things.
Two more things.
A couple more things. All right. So you're watching your Lionheart Racing. Guess
Right.
what? If you catch a Guys Games and Beer logo, and there are several of them on
It's
the
not
screen.
that hard. It's not that
There's
hard.
several cars with the Guys Games and Beer logo on them. Take a picture. Take a
Screenshot it.
Send it off to us. Contest at Guys Games and Beer. First one.
So
Wins a
it's
copy.
It's a
Of
good
Coffee
game.
Crisis.
It's worth
Contests at guysgamesandbeer.net. Email a screenshot of one of the cars on the track with our logo, and we will send you out Coffee Crisis, for the love of God. It's an amazing game by our buddies over at Bad Cat Studio. Mega Cat Studio.
He did it again.
I did it again.
We really got to give him penalty shots.
Yeah,
for this,
just give me the electroshock therapy again, okay? It helped last
that's
time.
done.
It helped last time.
And that's why Megan
right,
gets the
I'm
best shot.
disappointed.
All right, on Twitter at Guys Games Beer because they're cheap with the ands on that place. I don't know what's with those
So
guys.
I should give away a game tomorrow, shouldn't I?
Yes, you
Because
should.
I didn't give away one last week, but I will give away at least one game tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna. You know what? No, I'm gonna give away 2 games tomorrow. I'm gonna give away one on our YouTube channel for sure, and there will be one on one of our social media platforms.
Hey Tom, what's our
Not gonna say
YouTube
which one.
station?
Our YouTube station is youtube.com/guysgamesandbeer. You can't miss it. Just type in Guys Games and Beer. We're the first thing that comes up under every search.
And finally, you want to catch the show live? You want to listen to some day-to-day banter going on with the Guys Games and Beer crew? Well, you can check us out at www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer. If you're really lucky, Larry will put up a naked picture.
Oh, God.
Every once in a while.
Okay.
Every once in a while.
I want to thank our guest again, Scott. Thank you so much for being on the show this evening.
Pleasure.
We will hopefully be seeing you more of you around the Guys Games and Beer stuff.
Sure.
If the guys drinking beer with us, I'm good with this. All right, Rob, take us out the rest of the way.
Thank you very much for watching Guys Games and Beer. We'll catch you next week.
Bye!
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
we're in.
Absolutely brilliant. No, that one's empty.
Ooh,
That one's got a swallow in it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, let's step outside, Rob. I can use another one. Oh.
Alright, I can kill this one.